God started showing up in my life. People were recommending me God podcasts. I was still very resistant and skeptical. I was like, all right, you know what? Let me give this thing a shot. And so I finally prayed to Jesus versus just God. I felt like he answered and told me to go to Phoenix and drive DoorDash. And I prayed to Jesus. I'm like, Jesus, what do you want me to do? I want to make music full time, but I have this TikTok business. Can I just stop it and do music? Do I have to do both? Like, you tell me. My dad comes out of the coffee shop, comes into the car, and he's like, hey, I have this idea. Why don't you drive DoorDash? I'm like, what? Like, I'm making 10,000 US dollars a month, and I'm gonna drive DoorDash? Like, I was a pizza delivery boy growing up. My dad's like, yeah, you can live in Phoenix, you can DJ, you can explore. But he literally came up with that idea right after I prayed to Jesus. I never thought Jesus would speak to me through my dad, of all people, who, no offense, loves me, but was never in support of all my wild, crazy dreams. And so anyway, I was like, you know what? Let's do it. After living in Phoenix, driving DoorDash, it worked. I paid my bills. I got to DJ. I went to AmFest. I thanked Jesus, but also I was like, I was in some credit card debt. I was like, I need to pay more debt at the end of the month. And I prayed again. I said, Jesus, I need another job that uses the skills that I have so it can pay me more in a shorter amount of time. But I want it to be what you want for me, not what I want for myself. That same day, as I'm driving DoorDash, my friend from Bali, 2 years before, texts me and asks, are you still doing TikTok stuff? And I'm like, yeah, I'm still doing TikTok stuff. So anyway, within 2 weeks, I get a job in New York City. I move out to New York. Fast forward, I'm in that job for 9 months. Now, here's where we're at now. Jordan's at Atlas, where we're gonna be today, at the church, New Tribe Bali. He asks me what I'm doing on Instagram. He responds right away. And he's like, what do you do? I was like, oh, I DJ, I make music for God. Like, I have no idea if he's gonna understand my wild vision, right? And he's at Atlas, takes a picture of Atlas, and he goes, you should DJ here. So now I'm like, whoa, is this too good to be true? Is this the devil just tasting me? I didn't know. What is God? What's the devil? Who's speaking to me? But this sounds awesome. What is up, guys? All right, today is the big day. It's been a journey. If you've been with us from the start, you know. I left my job. I flew out to Bali on a whim in December 2024. Now it is August 2025. A lot has happened in between, so let me take you through it. Buckle your seatbelts. It's a full story. Long story short, though, the backstory is I had this job in New York City, and I didn't know in about December 1st, 2024, if I should stay in New York and pursue being an artist full time there. I had a booking agent. I say I was opening for big artists, but really I was playing after parties at like 5, 6, 7 a.m. So stay in New York was an option. Move to Dallas, potential job opportunity, or do something crazy and travel the world. And I put that out on Instagram as a joke. I was like, guys, truly, I didn't want to have to tell my whole New York family I was leaving. So this is my way of like telling the world I'm leaving, I don't know what's next, weigh in on my decision. Everyone voted travel, do something crazy. And it finally clicked. I had a little bit of savings. I had worked 9 months in New York. I was like, oh my gosh, like I really could. And I felt like it was something selfish. Like I thought I was trying to do what God wanted me to do. I had committed my life to Jesus. I was like, I want to live life God's way. I want to pursue holiness, not just happiness. And Bali obviously was the answer. I'd lived in Bali in 2020. So I sat there in December and I was like, all right, what are my options? New York, Dallas, Bali. Everyone voted Bali. I was like, there's no way this is like what God wants me to do, right? Dallas makes sense. Work for a company that is in ministry and volunteer and service work. I thought that's what God wanted. Of course, I wanted to be in Bali. It's amazing. And yeah, everyone voted Bali. So I was like, you know what? Let me just feel it out. The story in how I met Jesus also was when I finally started testing out the whole Jesus thing, because I was skeptical. It felt like a cult. I had some weird church growing up that, you know, they did bad things. And I was like, I'm not into this. I'm just gonna chase spirituality. Long story short, God started showing up in my life. People were recommending me God podcasts. People were talking about Jesus. I was still very resistant and skeptical. I was like, all right, you know what? Let me give this thing a shot. And so I finally prayed to Jesus versus just God. I felt like he answered and told me to go to Phoenix and drive DoorDash. So I was coming back from visiting somebody in Phoenix, arrived at the airport, my father picked me up, we're driving home, we're in Connecticut. My dad goes into the gas station to make himself a coffee, it's late at night, and I pray to Jesus. I'm like, Jesus, what do you want me to do? I want to make music full time, but I have this TikTok business. Can I just stop it and do music? Do I have to do both? Like, you tell me. My dad comes out of the coffee shop, or out of the gas station with his coffee, comes into the car and he's like, hey, I have this idea. Why don't you drive DoorDash? I'm like, what? Like, I'm making 10,000 US dollars a month and I'm gonna drive DoorDash? Like, I was a pizza delivery boy growing up. My dad's like, yeah, you can live in Phoenix, you can DJ, you can explore, and if you want to travel on the weekends and do DJ stuff, you just stop driving. But he literally came up with that idea right after I prayed to Jesus. I never thought Jesus would speak to me through my dad, of all people, who, no offense, loves me, but was never in support of all my wild, crazy dreams. Always wants me to stay home like a good pop. And so anyway, I was like, you know what? Let's do it. So I moved to Phoenix. On the flight to Phoenix, on Instagram, I come across an ad for America Fest. This guy, Turning Point USA, had this Am Fest, Charlie Kirk, you know, big conservative dude, throws this America Fest. And so I was like, oh, this is happening like right near me. Maybe I can make music. I was making music again that was shining the light on corruption and all this stuff in America. So maybe I'll make some good connections. So now that I'm living in Phoenix, I go to this festival. I meet some people, nothing happens. 2 months later, this girl that I met, awesome woman, messages me and she's like, hey, one of the presidential candidates is looking, their marketing team is looking for a DJ remix of something. Would you be keen? Would you want to do this? I'm like, of course. Doesn't matter which candidate. I'm like, I just got to blow up my name. So she gives me this guy's phone number. They give me a call. Now at the same time, this is like middle of February, is where my story tells you in our first video when we were worshiping at the beach. After living in Phoenix, driving DoorDash, it worked. I paid my bills. I got to DJ. I went to AmFest. I thanked Jesus, but also I was like, I was in some credit card debt. I was like, I need to pay more debt at the end of the month. And I prayed again. I said, Jesus, I need another job that uses the skills that I have so it can pay me more in a shorter amount of time. But I want it to be what you want for me, not what I want for myself. That same day, as I'm driving DoorDash, my friend from Bali, 2 years before, texts me and asks, are you still doing TikTok stuff? And I'm like, yeah, I'm still doing TikTok stuff. So anyway, within 2 weeks, I get a job in New York City. I move out to New York. Fast forward, I'm in that job for 9 months. Now here's where we're at now. It's November, that job ends. So I have these options. And so I'm praying again. I'm like, God, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to go to Dallas for this new job? Do you want me to stay in New York? Or can I go to Bali again? But that felt like my flesh, and our flesh is different than our spirit. So I'm trying to not follow my emotions and what my flesh wants me to do. I'm a new born again Christian. I'm like trying to follow what I think God wants me to do, my spirit wants me to do. Obviously I was very confused. Well, sure enough, everyone votes Bali. That same friend that got me the job in New York says, if you're gonna go to Bali, you're gonna need a Christian community. There's this guy, Jordan, plug Jordan Kamal and the Field Network. And my friend Yuri said, there's this guy, Jordan, that I think is starting this like Christian entrepreneur meetup group. Check him out. So we'll show you his Instagram. I jump on Instagram. Now this is Saturday night, like November 23rd. Technically it's Sunday, it's 3 in the morning, and I text Jordan. I just DM him, I follow him on Instagram, and I say, hey, because it's 3 a.m. Saturday, it's 4 p.m. in Bali at that time, Jordan's at Atlas, where we're gonna be today, at the church, New Tribe Bali. He asks me what I'm doing on Instagram. He responds right away. And he's like, what do you do? I was like, oh, I DJ, I make music for God. Like, I have no idea if he's gonna understand my wild vision, right? And he's at Atlas, takes a picture of Atlas and he goes, you should DJ here. So now I'm like, whoa, is this God speaking to me? Like, is this too good to be true? Is this the devil just tasting me? I didn't know. What is God? What's the devil? Who's speaking to me? But this sounds awesome. So he's like, you should DJ at Atlas. So I'm like, cool. 2 days later, it's Tuesday night now. I'm literally moving out of my apartment on Wednesday. I'm going back to my family for Thursday for Thanksgiving, big holiday in America. And I'm either moving back to the city on Monday to move into an apartment with 2 brothers, or I'm moving to Dallas on Monday to start a new job. Dallas is far from New York, or I'm buying a one-way ticket to Bali. So I'm like, this is crazy. I don't know what to do. So I text Jordan one more time. I just say, hey, and he goes, I can't believe you just messaged me. Look at what someone just sent. And my now friend, brother Christian, sent Jordan on that day, Tuesday, it's like November 26, 2024, this proposal for praise parties, looking for a Christian DJ to remix techno versions of worship songs. I'm like, this is crazy. This is literally my dream. So I booked the one way to Bali. I move out here. Jordan takes me in, plug all these photos of him giving me a community, growing in friends, getting connected with the church, going like doing a Christmas Eve get together, meeting Christian. And so when I met Christian, the full story that we're getting to is, Christian's like, what do you do? I was like, oh, I make music. But he's like, oh, you write your own songs? I was like, no, I don't really write my own music. I just like make the music. So I don't have lyrics. I just take other people who have lyrics and I make it a song. What do you do? He's like, oh, well, you know, back then he was on deliverance team at church. Now he's running prayer team. He's like, yeah, I'm serving at the church, starting this co-working space in Sonora. He's like, but I actually got a song from God and I have the lyrics, but I don't have anyone to make the music. I'm like, this is awesome. Fast forward, I'm in Bali for the next 6 months. I'm trying to live out what Matthew 6:33 says, which says, seek first the kingdom and all his righteousness will be added unto you. Like, you know, I'm in a relationship, I'm out of a relationship. Am I getting distracted or trying to make that my first ministry? These events are taking forever to happen. So I was just trying to serve first. So I got asked to run the creative team at church. I was doing other things with the church. The events were happening slowly. We finally got to do the event like 6 months later. You saw at Beyond Transform with Avenue Fitness. That was amazing. Lo and behold, our church is throwing a party at Atlas, the biggest nightclub in Bali, and we're doing it, guys. I'm gonna say it. It's the first ever worship rave in Southeast Asia. So it's not about, no offense, you or I or my church throwing this rave. It's never about being relevant and calling it a rave. This is 100% a move of God. These are people coming to a new place, seeking truth, seeking spirituality, and finding God. Because we couldn't do it. Our church started with 50 people. A year later, it's grown over 500. You'll see it today. That's the power of seeking truth. And so it's been amazing. So long story short, now that you have the whole backstory, Christian wrote the song. My friend Looney, who I became best friends with here, who sings and leads worship at our church at New Tribe, she wrote the melody and the chords for it. My buddy Stone, who I mentioned, who's my best DJ friend, who's out in Paris. I'm gonna spend a month in Ibiza with him. Hopefully I got my own vlogs. I don't know if I could take Dana with me there. He produced this music and he has an insane testimony where his body was shutting down. He was needing healing. My friends Peter and April, who Jordan connected me with, were out in Paris. They prayed for him. He started going to church at Hillsong Paris. Then when I shared with him, we're throwing this worship rave, my current producer, because I work with producers to help make the music, he couldn't make the music because his studio was out of commission for a month. So I go to my best guy friend, Stone, my best DJ friend, shout out to Jar, because that's my travel boy, and we still hang. And I hit up Stone, I'm like, bro, I got the rave. I don't know what to do, I need music. My boy Stone hooked it up. You're gonna hear his music today. He ripped out Serve the Lord With Me remix, Yeshua, and our custom original Deliverance track. Fresh out of New Tribe, baby. Christian wrote it, came from God. Looney wrote the music and melody, and me and Stone produced it. And that's the whole thing. It's not a Christian, Looney, Kevin, Stone collab. This is all, I share this long-winded, forgive me, but this is why we love YouTube, long-winded story with you to show you that we can't make this stuff up. It's not coincidence. There's all these moving parts. I didn't even know I was moving to Bali, but I wanted to make music and remix worship songs. And then there's the other dude, Christian, around the world in Bali who has the same vision. And then I'm praying if I should move to Dallas or New York or Bali, and that proposal somehow makes it into my DMs, and now we're throwing this worship rave. So that's what we're doing today. This is what the whole vision has been about, bringing light into the darkness. Our church is in a nightclub. We're throwing a worship rave. So thank you for the long-winded approach. We're gonna show you, we're gonna go drive out to Atlas right now. We're gonna throw a party. We'll see you there. Love you. We're here. Looney's practicing. I had no idea what setup would be. It looks cool though, right? So it looks like a little open floor. Hopefully people are dancing. Bella's gonna help. We're gonna get the media laptop going. So we're getting the media stuff going. The sound guy's getting that set up. I'm gonna go throw on a decent outfit. But it's gonna be awesome. That was so much fun. I don't even know what happened. Seriously, I was so nervous about this. This has been watching God move for 9 months, birthing this project, and I know it's just the beginning. This is what this channel and everything's been about, has been bringing the light into the darkness, and we're literally here in the biggest nightclub. Where people chase escapism, we're bringing them encounter with the one true God. So this outfit, this represents Bali. It's all resource, secondhand. All these different patches represent the different people from different cultures around the world, including Indonesia, that met, found God here. It says refined, R-E-F-I-N-E-D. And the coolest thing is my friend Kelly made it for the kingdom, and it's inside out. There's another whole story on the inside with like these white lines that represent God's protection. And I share it because there was so many little pieces that made this event happen. It's not every day you just throw a worship rave, especially in a nightclub or in a country which maybe is majority of different belief systems. But the little pieces that came together to make it happen show God's hands moving. And it reminds me of all the prayers, all the things I'm asking for in my life when I don't see anything happening and I'm getting frustrated. But little do I know there's all these small pieces of the puzzle that God is working out behind the scenes, and then it all comes together. So that's my own reminder. Guys, I'm so glad to take you with us to what's next, that you got to experience this today. I hope you had fun. That was insane. First worship rave in Southeast Asia. Let's go. Hopefully the beginning of many, but again, not about being cool, not about being relevant. It's about being real and about bringing people the presence of God. See you in the next one.